Hello, dear students. Very good evening, all of you. Hello, everyone. Guys, let me know if I'm audible, visible, in the comment section. Hello, Prakriti. Hi. Am I visible and audible? Are we good to go? All right, great. Let's get going. Hello, Sonika. Hello, Shashi. All right, then. Hello, dear students. A very good evening, all of you. I'm Chartered Accountant and Company Secretary Pavan Gahukar. Welcome to a class for CSEET, where I'm gonna teach you economics. And always remember, a point of view while studying economics is always the business perspective. All right. So yes, our very first chapter in economics, basics of demand and supply and forms of market competition. um, yes, we have catered a little bit of little area already. All right. We have studied the general theory, the reasons to study economics. Then we have studied the economic problem of scarcity and choice. We studied that as well. All right. Then we studied how to define economics, studied the nature of economics, whether it is an art or a science. All right. No. Yeah, these. Then we studied the scope of economics. Right, it covers wide areas, wide branches like micro, macro, international economics, public finance, development economics, environmental, urban and rural economics. All right. And then we studied the various types of economic systems and their working. What are the various economic systems? Come on, answer me fast. Socialism, capitalism, and mixed. This is what we have seen. And India carefully follows a mixed economy. All right. So yes, now we go on to the core part of this chapter. Again, whatever we have done till now, there will be one question. Very good, Harshita. Whatever we have done till now, there will be one question. All right, on what all things we have covered. Now we move towards the second half of this chapter. All right. So yes, demand. Let's concentrate on demand. So demand is an economic principle referring to consumers' desire to purchase goods. Whenever you want to buy a product, whenever you want to buy a product, so you know, some products you need, some products you desire. So like our, all right, many students aspire to buy an iPad or a MacBook or an iPhone or AirPods. So that's our desire. That's our desire. But that desire should be backed by willingness to pay. That desire should be backed by willingness to pay the price. So guys, economic demand is an economic principle referring to a consumer's desire to purchase goods and services and willingness to pay a price for the specific goods or service. All right, there should be desire and there should be willingness to pay the price for that goods or service. All right, law of demand. What does the law of demand say? Hi, Alfonso. The law of demand, what does the law of demand say? Law of demand says that if the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. So let's study the law of demand. According to law of demand, other things being equal, give me the word for it. Other things being equal, give me the Latin word for it. Other things being equal, give me the Latin word for it. All else being equal, yeah, Latin word. Wonderful. The word is ceteris paribus. The word is ceteris paribus. Many people say ceteris paribus. Other things being equal, the other aspects will remain same. As per the law of demand, we compare quantity demanded with price. All other aspects like Let's see. According to the law of demand, other things being equal, if the price of the commodity falls, the quantity demanded will rise. And if the price of commodity rises, the quantity demanded will decline. So what kind of relationship? What kind of relationship exists? There exists a inverse relationship. Okay? There exists a inverse relationship. There exists an inverse relationship. All right. There is an inverse relationship. One factor increases, the other factor decreases. Inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded of a commodity. And I hope you must have already written it down. Quantity demanded is inversely proportional to its price. This law of demand was propounded by Professor Alfred Marshall. In other words, other thing being equal, quantity demanded will be more at a lower price than at a higher price. The law of demand describes the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. Among other factors affecting demand, price of the commodity is the most critical factor. Thus, demand for a commodity is mainly determined by the price of the commodity. So, demand of commodity X, it's a function of the price of the commodity X. Demand is dependent on price. Function, to be a function of something means to be dependent on something. So guys, if you check this out, price per can in INR, Indian rupee, and quantity demanded. If the price per can, so this is the can of drink. If the price per can is rupees 80, the quantity demanded is nothing. We demand nothing. If you reduce the price to 70, quantity demanded is 200. If you reduce it further, it is 60. Then the quantity demanded is more, 400. So if you reduce it further to 50, the quantity demanded again increases to 600. If you reduce it by 10 rupee again, the quantity demanded is 800. If you reduce it further to 30, the quantity demanded is 1000. If you reduce it to further down to 20 rupees, the quantity demanded is 1200. If you reduce it down to 10, again the quantity demanded is 1400. The price per can is 0, the quantity demanded is 1600. So guys, as per this data, as per this record, if you were to make the demand curve, can you make a demand curve? Y-axis is price per can, x-axis is quantity per week. All right, will you be able to draw the demand curve? Come on, I'm giving you 1 minute. Complete this diagram. I'm giving you 1 minute. Complete this diagram. Make it fast. All right, guys, I hope it's been taken care of. Yes, I'm very sure you must have gotten something like this. Right, guys? Very sure of that. Yeah, guys, well done. This is how you make it. Thus, it may be observed that with the rise in price per can, the demand for the can is reducing. Thereby, quantity demanded is inversely proportional to the price. Quantity demanded is inversely proportional to the price. I'm just loving the way everyone is writing the answers. I'm asking you to draw the diagram and you are just writing down the answers. Okay, I appreciate it. Shashi, your answer is the most, your answer is the most creative amongst all. Assumptions for the law of demand. The above stated law of demand is conditional. It is based on certain condition. The major condition is when you compare these two factors, other factors are equal, other factors are constant. So ceteris paribus is one assumption. All right. It relates to the change in price variably only assuming other determinants of the demand to be constant. All other factors are constant, price changes. The law of demand is thus based on the following ceteris paribus assumption. Ceteris paribus, other things remaining same. The consumer's income doesn't change. Okay, it's an assumption. It never happens in real life. We are never saying that it happens in real life. We are just assuming that. No change in the consumer's income. No change in the consumer preferences. The taste and preferences of the consumer remains the same. No change in the fashion. No change in the price of related goods. Give me the example of related goods. Give me the example of related goods. Related goods, anyone? No change in the price. No. Whenever we study the law of demand, these factors remain constant. Yes. Tea and coffee. How they are related to each other? Tell me. Tea and coffee, how they are related to each other? Tell me fast. Tea and coffee. Do they complement or are they substitutes of each other? Do they complement or are they substitutes of each other? They are substitutes of each. All right. Yeah. What is a complementary product for tea? No, giving you an example of related items. Yeah, they are substitute, and the complementary product for tea is anyone? Correct, Shashi. Sugar. Wow. All right. Petrol, diesel, the complementary product is a car. All right. So these are the examples of related. Sorry, these are the examples of related goods, complementary goods, and substitute. We are assuming that the complementary goods price, the substitutes price never change. No expectation of future price changes or shortage. There is that thing is not going to happen, that the future prices is changing or the future prices is going less. That's not happening. The law of demand is thus based on the following criteria: ceteris paribus assumption, no change in the size, age, composition, gender ratio of the population. The size of the population doesn't change, age composition doesn't change, gender ratio male female doesn't change. No change in the range of goods available to the consumers. The range of the good doesn't change, the range is still the same. Change in the distribution of income and wealth of the community, it also doesn't change, it remains constant. And no change in the government policy. Government policy is not promoting the product, the government policy is not banning the product. It is neutral, it stays same. And no change in the weather condition. If all these things, all these 10 things are constant, if we have ceteris, oh my, if we have ceteris paribus for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if all these parameters remain unchanged, only then this assumption, only then this law of demand is valid. That's why they have always make it a point that they write all other factors remaining constant, quantity demanded is inversely related to price. All right. But then if you have understood the law of demand, there are some products where law of demand does not work. There are some products where there are some cases where law of demand does not work. We study exceptions to the law of demand. Study exceptions to the law of demand. There are few exceptional cases where law of demand is not applicable, which may be categorized as follows. Giffen goods. Giffen goods was worked upon by, it was, the research was done by Sir Robert Giffen. Sir Robert Giffen. Products like, inferior products like potato, wheat, sugar, bread. All right. On these goods, law of demand does not work. What say? How come? Let's see. In case of certain inferior goods called as Giffen goods, when the prices fall, quite often less quantity will be purchased than before because of negative income effect and people's increasing preference for a superior commodity with the rise in their real income. When, when the people's income rises, when the people's income rises. So in case certain inferior goods called Giffen goods, when the prices fall, quite often less quantity will be purchased than before because of the negative income effect. So guys, when people get some money, okay, they try to go for superior commodity. So when people have more money, they do not buy these products. They do not buy these products more because they now want superior commodity. They now want superior commodity. When the prices fall, the demand should increase, but that doesn't work that way. Sometimes people demand superior commodity with the rise in their real income. It happens the other way around. The law of demand says if the price is more, the quantity demanded is less, and if the quantity demanded is if the price is high, the quantity demanded is less. That does not work in Giffen goods. All right, these are low, if they not brown bread, not wheat bread, the cheap quality products, you know, very coarse wheat, very dry rice, you know, inferior products. For this, the law of demand does not work. Then articles of snob appeal. Sometimes certain commodities are demanded just because they happen to be expensive or prestige value. Just because the products are costly, okay, people buy it, and they have snob appeal. They satisfy the aristocratic desire to preserve exclusiveness for unique goods. All right, that is what happens when the goods are everyone wants unique category of goods. Everyone wants the unique category of goods. When that happens, no matter how costly the product is, people tend to purchase it. With products like Bata, Alto car, people don't want to buy it because they are not exclusive. This gives rise to some snob appeal that we do not want basic products. We want aristocratic desire. We want unique product. We want exclusive. Exclusive means unique products. We want to have privileged products. We don't want to have basic products. So we would like to have unique products. This is where even if it is cheap, its demand will be less. And even if a BMW is costly, its demand may be high. So guys, it does not work. Exceptions to the law of demand. Then sometimes when people feel that the price of this commodity will rise in the near future, price of the commodity will increase in the near future, all right, people buy more. Again, exactly opposite of the theory of law of demand. When people speculate about changes in the price of the commodity in future, they may not act according to the law of demand. When people are convinced that price of the particular commodity will rise still further, they will not contract the demand with the given price rise. On the contrary, they may purchase more for the purpose of hoarding. What do you mean by hoarding? To collect the goods. Hoarding means to collect the goods. So when it comes to speculation, when people feel that the prices is going to increase, they demand more. When they feel that the prices is going to increase in the near future, they land up demanding, they land up demanding, they land up demanding more. All right, that is exactly opposite of which law? Law of demand. Quantity demanded is inversely related to price. In all these cases, there comes into picture a direct relation. So buying an Apple device is a thing of great prestige. Having an Apple device, get a feel good. Even if it's costly, we will buy it. Yeah, very good, Shashi. Even if it is costly, we will buy it. That's consumer psychological bias or illusion. Consumers psychological bias or illusion. When the consumer is wrongly biased against the quality of commodity with the price change, he may contract his demand with the fall in price. So Apple, they cannot reduce the price now because people have accepted that Apple is to be desired even if it's costly. So consumer is wrongly biased towards the quality of the commodity with the price change. So many times, many corporates have done this in the history. They have tried to reduce the price to expand the demand, but then people thought the product is not qualitative, thereby the price is less, and the demand did not increase. Howsoever, it must have increased. All right. So guys, that was all about demand for today. All right. We will study supply. Just go through the text and let me know if you have any doubts. Come on, guys. We studied law of demand. Quantity demanded is inversely related to the price. Then we have studied exceptions to the law of demand. We also studied assumption. There are 10 areas which we want them to be unchanged for establishing the relationship, inverse relationship of law of demand. Just quickly go through it. If you have any doubts, let me know in the chat box. All right, guys, I hope there are no doubts. Are there any? Are there any doubts? Shall we proceed? All right. Shall we proceed, guys? Yes, it's time to go ahead, move ahead. So among supply and demand, we are done with our economic CSET curriculum for demand. Let's now move ahead towards the second half, that is supply. So what is the relation? Just a moment, guys. Hello. Guys, when we talk about the theory of supply, if you are a supplier, if you are a seller, you will sell only when the profit margin is lesser or greater. You will sell only when the profit margin is greater. So supply represents how much a market can offer. Supply represents how much a market can offer. The quantity supplied refers to the amount of goods producer are willing to. Very good, Shashi. Correct answer. The quantity supplied refers to the amount of good producer are willing to supply even when receiving a certain price. Supply of goods or service refers to the quantities of that good or service that producers are prepared to offer for sale at a set of prices over a period of time. Over a period of time. All right. Supply of good or service refers to the quantities of that good or service that producer prepared to offer for a sale at set prices over a period of time. So supply means the schedule of possible prices and the amount that would be sold at each price. It's simple. Greater the price, more will be the supply because there will be more profits. The supply is not the same concept as stock of something in existence. Supply is not a stock concept. It's a flow concept. Remember, it is not the same as the stock concept. A stock of commodity X in Delhi means a total quantity of commodity X in existence at a point of time. Whereas supply of commodity X in Delhi means the quantity actually being offered for sale in the market over a specified period of time. So guys, there is a difference. Supply does not mean stock. Supply means the quantity of commodity you can supply for a particular price over a specified period of time. So write there down. Supply is a flow concept. It is not a stock concept. Supply is a flow concept. It is not a stock concept. Yeah, flow concept. The law of supply states that a firm will produce and offer to sell greater quantities of a product or service as the price of that product or service rises, other things being equal. Come on, give me the Latin word for other things being equal. Other things being equal. Give me the Latin word. All right. Yes, guys. Ceteris paribus. All right. Rest of the Barbies. Other things being equal. All right, guys. Chalo. So there's a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. When you talk about price and quantity supplied, we talk about price and quantity supplied. There is a direct relationship. What kind of relationship? There is a direct relationship. And when it comes to demand, there is indirect relationship. So there's a direct relationship. Please highlight. There's a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. In this statement, change in the price is caused and change in the supply is the effect. So guys, in this statement, change in the price is the cause and change in the supply is the effect. Economics work on cause and effect. Economics work on cause and effect. Economics work on cause and effect. That's why economics is these are the two options. Tell me. Economics work on cause and effect. That's why economics is come on guys, tell me. Very good Sharanya, very good Harshita. No, Harshita, it's not both. I'm telling you the reason. For this reason, economics acts as a, correct guys, for this reason, economics is a science. It's a systemized body of knowledge which studies the relationship between cause and effect. All right. Nevertheless, well done guys. Amazing. Be very sure with your answers. Thus, the price rise leads to an increase in supply and not otherwise. It may be noted that at higher prices, there's a greater incentive for the producers to produce and for the firms to produce and sell more. So more the price, greater will be the quantity supplied because profit will be more. Everyone works for profit in economics. Thus, the price rise leads to increase in supply and not otherwise. Higher prices, there's greater intense incentive for the producers. Other things, including cost of production, change in the technology, price of inputs, level of competition, size of the industry, government policy, and non-economic factors. All right, they need to be constant. They do not change. If they changes, the scenario will also change. With an increase in price of the good, producer is willing to offer more in the market for sale. The quantity supplied is related to the specified time interval over which it is offered. Law of supply is a macroeconomic law that states that all of the factors being equal, as the price of the goods or service increases, quantity of goods or service that suppliers offer will increase and vice versa. The law of supply says that as the price of an item goes up, suppliers will attempt to maximize their profits by increasing the quantity offered for sale. The term other things remaining same refers to the following assumption. What are the assumptions for law of supply? No change in the state of technology. So, you do not increase the production all of a sudden. All right. So, the prices may change. If you change the technology change, the prices changes and the quantity supplied also changes. So, state of technology remains the same. All right. The way you are producing it, there is no upgradation in the tech. No change in the price of factors of production. There doesn't change. The price of factor of production doesn't change. No change in the number of firms in the market. No change in the goal of the firm. No change in the seller's expectation regarding future prices. No change in the tax and subsidy policy of the product. Tax. Tax increases the price of the product. True or false? Tax increases the price of the product. True or false? Tax increases the price of the product. True or false? Yes, it increases the price of the product. And subsidy reduces the price of the product. Yes or no? Yes, guys. Subsidy reduces the prices. Can you tell me any product which is subsidized? Tell me any product which is subsidized in the market that everyone is able to buy it. Yeah, everyone uses it. Yes, gas, LPG, liquid petroleum gas is subsidized. All right. So all these are constant. And the last one, no change in the price of other goods. The other goods price also remains same. Only then the law of supply directly related, this remains the same. So what are the assumptions? No change in the state of technology, no change in the price of factors, no change in the number of firms in the market, the number of suppliers do not change, no change in the goals of the firm. All right, the expectation of the firm, the organization does not change. No change in the seller expectation regarding future prices. That means no speculation allowed, and no change in the tax and subsidy policy, and no change in the price of other goods. If these hold constant, the law of supply holds valid. All right, guys, this is how the demand curve looks like. Come on, make the supply curve fast. Make a supply curve. If demand curve looks like this, how does a supply curve look like? Wow, wonderful, guys. Good answers. Yes, guys, upward sloping it is. Direct relation. That's why it is upward sloping. So this is the demand curve. Greater is the price, lesser is the quantity demanded. And supply curve, greater is the price, the quantity supplied increases. That's how these respective curves are. Now what are we doing is, for the last topic of the day, what are we doing is, we are just mixing these two supply curves. What are we doing here? We are just mixing these two supply curves so that we understand, all right, the equilibrium of demand and supply in the market. All right. So we are mixing demand curve and supply curve in one paragraph. So that's how. Get it? Yes. Very good, Alfonso. Who is Alfonso? Will you let me know your name? Yes, guys. So now the demand curve and supply curve, they both are on the same x and y axis, and now we got at a point of where demand and supply meets. That's the point of equilibrium in the market. What have we done? We have gotten demand and supply curve on the same x and y axis. This is called as equilibrium. The equilibrium price is the market price where quantity of goods supplied is equal to quantity of goods demanded. This is the point. All right. So this is the demand curve which you have in the module. This is the supply curve. So they both intersect at this point. They both intersect at this point. All right. This point acts as the equilibrium price. All right. This point, yeah, demand at this point. Demand, say this point is Z. Let us solve. This point is, suppose this point is, okay, suppose this point is called as point Z. Sorry. So this point is, say, point Z. So where demand and supply curves intersect each other. All right. So that's the equilibrium price. At equilibrium price, there's no shortage, no surplus. Okay, just check this out. Tell me the equilibrium price. This is an example right in front of you. Come on, tell me what is the equilibrium price. Check out the data, guys. Price is 100. Quantity supplied is way too much than quantity demanded. We are supplying a surplus of 45. Quantity demanded is 50. Quantity demanded is 5 and quantity supplied is 50. So we are over supplying it by 45 kgs. The price is reduced to 90. The demand increases slightly and the quantity supplied decreases. Still have a surplus of 41 minus 12, that is 29. If we further reduce the price to 80, then the quantity supplied reduces to 35, but the quantity demanded increases to 18. Now we have a surplus of 17 kgs. When the price is further reduced to 70 rupees, the quantity demanded increases again and the quantity supplied decreases. Now we have a deficit of, we still have a surplus of 6. We are still supplying 6 kgs more than what is expected. When the price is 60, the people demand 25 kgs and we supply 25 kgs. There is no surplus, there is no shortage, and this is the tell me, this is the equilibrium price. Rupees 60 is the equilibrium price. Rupees 60 is the equilibrium price. We do not have shortage, we do not have surplus. When you reduce the price further, the quantity demanded will increase, but the quantity supplied will be less and we will be facing shortage of the product. At equilibrium point, there is no shortage, no surplus. Just check this out. At equilibrium price 60, there is surplus is 0 and shortage is also. If a change in the price of the goods or service creates a shortage, it means that consumers want to buy a higher quantity than the one offered by the producers. In this case, demand exceeds supply and consumers are not satisfied. In contrast, if a change in the price of the product or service creates surplus, it means consumers want to buy less quantity than the one offered by the producers. In this case, supply exceeds demands and producer need to lower the price or the service to avoid excessive inventory. So if you want to sell more, you will have to reduce the price. What do you mean by the word inventory? Tell me the meaning of the word inventory. What do you mean by the word inventory? Correct. Inventory means stock. The above, in the table above, the quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied at price level $60. The price of $60 is the equilibrium price. At any other price level, there is either surplus or there is shortage. Alfonso, correct. Sharanya, correct. Harshita, Hemant, correct answers. Therefore, the price of $60 is the equilibrium price. At any other price level, there is either surplus or shortage. Specifically, for any price that is lower than $60, the quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded, thereby creating a surplus. For any price higher than $60, the demand is greater than the quantity supplied. Okay, for any price that is higher than $60, quantity demanded is greater, thereby creating a shortage. For any price lower than 60 supplied, right? They have uh, made a mess of it a little. Guys, for any price which is above 60, the supply is more and the demand is less, creating surplus. For any price which is lesser than 60, the demand is more and the supply is less, creating a shortage. All right. All right, guys, in the next lecture, we shall see elasticity of demand. It's now time for a quiz. Let's test your knowledge. All right. All right, guys, I hope everyone is ready. All right, then, first question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. 6 questions today. Make the most out of it. Demand refers to a consumer's desire to buy goods, services, both A and B. None. So demand refers to consumers' desire to buy. Yes, it includes goods as well as it includes services as well. The answer is both A and B. So Sharanya right on top, followed by Soham, Kvitu, Fezia, Elsa, Dev, Queenie, Ashley, Tommy. All right. Next question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. So as per the law of demand, quantity demanded will be more at a lower price than at a higher price. Easy question it was. Cakewalk question. Sharanya, no. Sharanya might be toppled. Whoa. Fezia, Tommy, Ashley, Sharanya, Queenie, Kvitu, Devki, Soham, and Sonika. All right. Come on, 4 more questions. You can still turn the tables around. Are you ready? Go, go, go. The demand of a commodity is mainly determined by the price of the commodity, price of the related commodity, price of its complementary, money, income. The answer is price of the commodity. Quantity demanded is directly related to the price of the commodity. Easy question this was. You should not have got this wrong. Pretty easy. Fezia, how could you get this wrong? Ashley, how could you get this wrong? So Tommy is right on top, followed by Tweetu, Queen, Devki, Soham, Fezia, Shashi, Alfonso, and Ashley. All right, we move ahead. Guys, we are halfway through. 3 more questions to go. Are you ready? Go, go, go. Last question, guys. Are you ready? All right, last question. No, no, no. Sorry. 2 more questions to go. Please make the most out of it. Go, go, go. So there is a dash relationship between price and quantity supplied. Guys, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. There's an indirect relationship between price and quantity demanded. Remember this. Please, these are easy questions. How can you get this wrong? Right? People are consolidating their lead. Dave is right on top. Last question. All right. Make it count, guys. Come on, redeem yourself. Last question. Go, go, go. Giffen goods term is coined after. The answer is Sir Robert Giffen. Giffen goods term is coined after Sir Robert Giffen. James Giffen, there's no such name Thornstein Giffen, there's no such name. There is Thornstein Veblen, and Snob Giffen, there's no person called as Snob. All right, let's check out the final leaderboard position. Dave is the winner, clearly. Dave and this ship guy, whoever he is or she is, they are undefeated. All the answers are correct. Only 2 students, followed by Tommy. Taranya did well. Tweetu did well. Sonika did well. Rest of the students, you need to work harder. All right, so guys, that's it for the day. We specifically covered supply and demand today. All right, we did that. That is basically, that is the chapter, supply and demand. We studied the law of demand, where quantity supplied is quantity demanded is inversely proportional to the price of the commodity. And there are ceteris paribus, there are assumptions, there are 10 assumptions. There will be question in your exam. The law of demand is based on which assumptions? Ceteris paribus assumptions. You have to write 10 points there. All of them you'll have to write. Exceptions to the law of demand, I asked you a question on this as well. Giffen goods does not follow law of demand. The Robert Giffen, I gave you photograph as well. Then this was followed by articles of snob appeal. Here also law of demand doesn't work. Then speculation about future prices about the products. And then people who associate psychological illusion, if it's costly, it's good. So this is where theory of demand does not work. Then we studied supply. Supply says as the price increases, quantity supplied also increases. That's the law. Again, it comes with its assumption. There is in economics, assumptions are always there because human element is there. So assumptions are always there. Then for equilibrium, we gotten together demand curve, and for equilibrium we gotten together demand curve and supply curve, and we got the equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price. Equilibrium, this point of equilibrium is a point where there is no excess products in the market and there is no shortage of goods as well. Okay, tell me, where is that point of equilibrium? At which price? Anyone? At which price do we have the point of equilibrium? Correct. At 60. We do not have surplus. We do not have shortage. We do not have surplus. We do not have shortage. So yeah, guys, elasticity of demand we shall cater in the next lecture. All right, guys. All right, guys, this is Pavan Gahukar signing off. If you have any doubts whatsoever, you can always Instagram me on Insta_PAVANN. If you have any doubts, let me know. Otherwise, we are calling it a day. Any doubts? Doesn't seem any. All right, guys, this is Pavan Gahukar signing off. See you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Study well. Bye-bye. No doubts? All right, guys. Thank you so much.